that is in the Old Covenant points to the New and is a divine pedagogy for the same. And we can always pull out strands that actually are far more meaningful than perhaps we realize. What respect was shown for the holy things, and yet it was but a shadow, foreshadowing what we have. And yet we seem to have not more, but less respect for what we handle, if we're honest. We notice how in the experience of Ezekiel, there is this healing, water of healing coming out of the temple of the Lord. What healing comes from our temple? We have the Lord himself. But alas, we abuse him, and the way that we approach him has become very casual. It's not that far behind us in time. The great fear and trembling that those who went before us had in the West for Holy Communion. It was presumed that preparation would take place. That was also physical, fasting from midnight. The Lord was not, as it were, aggressed by an onslaught at Holy Communion until fairly recent times. It was presumed that the soul had to be in order. We need to look at this in Lent, for the way that we handle the body of the Lord is going to come back to us one day in our judgment. We know that priests have a very severe purgatory if they handle without respect and warmth and love the body that they are consecrating. But priests also need to be careful when it comes to delegating things. It is not the Lord's positive will to have certain things delegated just like that. We have been consecrated for a reason and set apart for the same. It is a misunderstanding of participation to involve people in that which the Lord would prefer to be reserved to those that he has consecrated fully for that ministry. Many graces are being lost. In the East, one notices a huge fear and trembling for the things of God, and that means that actually in practice communion is quite rare. But at least the sacrilege is also rare on that level. It is a difficult balance to maintain, but we have gone too far. Actually, when still a Baptist, I was aware of the importance of preparation for Holy Communion, even though it wasn't valid as a sacrament. But the preparation would happen before, on the Thursday evening with the prayer meeting. Monthly Communion was well prepared, and because of that, even though it wasn't a real presence as such, living the Lord's Supper in one's memory on all the pain of the Passion to come was not without an effect on the soul. It is Calvary. And the way that sometimes we come into church in completely celebratory mode, celebrating an event other than Calvary, is a deflection of attention to the human and the social. even the way that we greet each other, even the way that we greet each other from the altar indicates the mentality that is actually in the air. The church gives us the greetings that come from the early church itself, and it seems that they don't matter. The only valid one is good morning, happy day, all bits of the profane creeping in to the sacred. Once vested under the altar, the priest is no longer in his humanity as an individual. He is Christ for the people, and it's Christ they want to see, not more of the same. As those Greeks said, coming up to the apostles, "Sir, we desire to see the Lord." Agios oteos, agios ischiros, agios athanatos, eleis onimbas. Agios oteos, agios ischiros, agios athanatos, eleis onimbas. Agios oteos, agios ischiros, agios athanatos, eleis onimbas. Oh.